Welcome to another CCI Video Monthly Update. I'm Matt Fleck, and today we are with Randi Perry. She is the Director of KIPP through College with KIPP Indy. And I'll bet, Randi, there are a lot of people who don't know about KIPP. Could you give us a little bit of an introduction and also tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yes, absolutely. So KIPP Indy Public Schools is a network of charter schools here on the Near East Side of Indianapolis. We are in the Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood. This year we have 3 schools, elementary, middle, and high school, serving students in grades K through 9. So our high school just opened this past fall and will grow 1 grade each year to eventually serve students all the way through high school. Charter schools are free public schools, open enrollment for our students, and the vast majority come from the Near East Side and East Side, so right in our neighborhood. We also are an IPS innovation school, and so we partner with the district on services like transportation, facilities, to ensure that our students have access to equitable opportunities.
Right. So your caseload is going to grow here real soon.
Our caseload is going to grow, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your comprehensive counseling model, or your initiative, and especially what comprehensive counseling model you've chosen there.
Absolutely. With the support from the endowment, we were really excited to be able to increase support and programming, specifically within the college and career domain. So the comprehensive model that we aspire to align our services to is the ASCA model. And so college and career being one key domain in partnership with academic and social emotional health of our students. So the program that myself and my team lead for all 3 of our schools is called KIPP Through College, and that encompasses everything from college planning to career awareness to direct transition into the workforce. So we really are everything post-secondary in partnership with our 3 schools.
Yeah, wonderful. So tell us about one or two of your strategies that you're utilizing the grant funding for that is probably related to college and career readiness, I imagine.
Absolutely. So something that timed really well with funding from the endowment and the opportunity to grow our program was the opening of our high school. So one thing that our team was really excited about putting in place was actually being able to think about college and career K-12 as opposed to just something we offer juniors and seniors. Yep. So a key strategy that our team has worked on throughout the grant implementation has been a ton of planning and collaboration and corralling resources together and building out a curriculum for 9th grade, for 10th grade, 11th grade, and beyond. And so again, funding through the grant has allowed us to actually be proactive around that support for students. And when I say college and career curriculum, again, we're thinking about the ASCA model. So what are students getting in a group setting through workshops? What are students getting through individual counseling? What are students getting in the classroom delivered by other teachers? So we know that, myself and our other counselor can't execute on all programming. So how are we really partnering with the school to ensure that, key metrics that we want students to hit and key, knowledge, skills, behaviors we want them to have? How are we ensuring that we're embedding that in everything the school is about? And we've had that opportunity with this fall, opening our doors to our 9th grade students.
Wonderful. So your collaboration has been not only within the school, but also outside of the school. Tell us a little bit about how you get the collaboration from the teachers, perhaps, and staff, and how you've reached out beyond the school doors for collaborative partners.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if there is one word that I hope other schools and other counselors take away from kind of our work this past year in the grant, it is collaboration. And so our counseling team started with meetings with our founding school leader every other week, which actually sounds frequent, but it ensured that our programming was something top of mind for him. And so I would say a solid relationship with him as the school leader led to a deep belief in an alignment in what our counseling team believes. So we definitely started with administration. Teachers, we're taking every opportunity we can. So we know how, as counselors, we know how busy our classroom teachers are and all that is asked of them. And so every opportunity we have to be present and to support them in their work. And again, further that relationship so that they are wanting to partner with the counseling team. You know, for example, we did what we call the KIPP Through College Lunch and Learn, you know, for them before students came back. So like we provided lunch and talked about programming that they could expect from our team versus what they were responsible for. So again, I think it's that collaboration piece internally is about coming from a place of respecting that person's priorities, knowing that our initiatives are just one piece, right? But how can we motivate our teachers to see that college and career programming is actually the end game for what they're doing in the classroom, right? So Algebra 1 is only important if our students feel like they have a solid post-secondary plan. So I think that's been a huge piece. And then the final thing you asked about is just, you know, collaboration outside the community. Yeah. So our high school is called KIPP Indy Legacy High, and we opened actually right next door to the Edna Martin Christian Center Leadership and Legacy Campus. So Edna Martin Christian Center is a prominent community member in Martindale-Brightwood. And our collaboration with them has, you know, been incredible as we built out our program. So we were able to work with leaders at the community center to learn more about our specific community, bachelor degree attainment, what did community members want from college and career support. So it was a lot of learning from them in addition to thinking about how we can co-sponsor programs together. So I imagine that, you know, as our high school grows, as we think about things like standardized prep and standardized test prep and college visits, that we'll be able to partner with Edna Martin and combine resources to be able to serve more people.
Great. Can you share a story of something that's really working, or an example of something that you're thinking, this is the right way, this is the direction we're going?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's super important for these programs to be data-driven, right? And so we always want to be looking at the data, but like you said, Matt, I think the stories of our students are sometimes what can be motivating for us on tough days in terms of implementing new programs. And so I think the story that sticks out top of mind to me, and I was just actually talking to our other counselor about this, is 3 gentlemen who were in 8th grade last year with our middle school. I won't name their names. All really, really intelligent, but all struggled with behavioral issues, whether that was occasional defiance or, you know, maturity, just like thinking through a lot of things. And what her and I started thinking about as we started to implement career awareness and programming at the end of 8th grade year, I think we saw for the first time in them this like motivation and connection that this was what school was all about. So I think as adults, we often forget that kids sometimes go to school because that's what they do. And if we are not helping them make that connection, then it's hard for them to stay motivated on a day-to-day basis. And I have to tell you, it's seeing the 3 of them, you know, in our hallways now as 9th graders, they still have some work to do, you know, in terms of like, you know, focusing in class, but I think they're starting to develop a why, and start to develop that intrinsic motivation. And so I think that's one of my favorite stories. We have to be able to look around and see that like our programming is not just having, you know, tiny impact, but that it's helping actually empower kids to do this work on their own, if that makes sense.
It does, and it's going to be empowering to them for years to come. It's not just a one-time deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would be the goal, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That they're building on this every single year, and then that by the time they're seniors, you know, they're fully owning the process. We as adults are helping them, but they're fully owning the process on planning for their future.
Yep. Great. Tell us a little bit about your sustainability plan. How are you going to continue this after the grant dollars expire?
Sure. So sustainability is something we think a lot about at KIPP, particularly as a public charter school. So our KIPP Through College program is currently funded through a combination of public dollars and also private fundraising, because again, when you look at, the data on counselor to student ratios, and, schools have so many competing priorities on how to use funds. Our team is actually in place because we do also raise private dollars. So our sustainability plan is a combination of that moving forward.
Okay.
So as enrollment at the high school grows, public funding will also grow with more students. And then a deep, deep commitment to continuing the relationship with current donors. The donors that have funded our program in the past are incredibly excited about the high school and the programming we're putting in place. And so I think that, for any programs like thinking about sustainability, public dollars are always going to be limited, but are there companies in your city that, are aligned to your mission and what you're doing as a school? Are there other foundations out there? Are there in-kind services that you can get from the community? So I think when counselors and administrators think about things creatively, the sustainability comes after that. But we are really excited about the programming we are putting in place, really because of support from the endowment and being able to increase our programming. We think that that's actually going to have a huge positive impact on other donors continuing to support, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a good plan. A workable plan.
Yes.
Okay, last question, and that is any words of advice in addition to what you've already given to us, or a resource or an idea that has really been helpful to you?
Sure. A couple things come to mind. So we already talked about collaboration. And I just cannot stress enough that I think the reason that our team has come to such strong alignment with our school, and when I say our team, I mean our counselors, is that we approach collaboration in a way that is not I or we first, right? It's not, this is what we need from you. Our goal is always, how can we accomplish this together? And how can I be respectful of the competing priorities that you might have? So, there's a ton of research out there around impact and influence, and I would encourage people to read about that. When you need something accomplished from someone, how do you go about doing that? Yeah. When you need to partner with teams to reach a goal, how do you go about doing that? So I think shared alignment on what our end goal truly is, that's been huge. Yeah. You as a counseling team might be aligned on what your goals are, but if you're not communicating that with your broader school community, you won't have that alignment. So the collaboration piece just cannot stress enough. Some of the other key things I would say that have been really helpful in our planning is, even though KIPP is a local network of schools, we do benefit from being part of a national network as well. So we have had the opportunity to learn from schools across the country on how to really create a data-driven counseling program specifically related to post-secondary education. So our team is constantly, asking ourselves what best practices are. Who can we talk to learn who's doing this really, really well? I think about a lot of our large private schools in the city. How can we learn from those schools that are sending, large percentages of their students to great institutions, and how can we learn from the programming that they're putting in place? So we ask a ton of questions, we use a ton of data, we build relationships where it makes sense, and I think if you are super clear about whether it's college and career, whether it's academic programming, whether it's social emotional, when you as a program are really clear about what your end result is, a lot of that piece of collaboration and getting resources from others come to place after that.
Yeah. Clarity and collaboration really make a huge difference, don't they?
Yes, the two C's.
The two C's, yeah. We'll start our own program there.
Absolutely.
Randi, Terry, thank you very much for your time. I wish we could talk a little longer. We want to keep these within a certain amount of time. So thanks for sharing with us, and we look forward to talking with you more. Good luck with the rest of your program.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.